There are people walking this earth asleep, not because their eyes are closed, but because their hearts are. They wake up every morning, breathe, eat, scroll, and exist, but they are not alive. They've fallen asleep on their destiny. They've forgotten that Allah placed something extraordinary inside them, a purpose that was written long before they were born. Your destiny was written long before you took your first breath. But that doesn't mean you can stand still and expect it to unfold on its own. Allah has already decreed your potential, your path, and your purpose, but the journey toward it requires your movement, your faith, and your effort. Just as a farmer cannot sit back and wait for his harvest without first planting the seeds, watering the soil, and trusting the process, you too must take action toward what was written for you. Destiny isn't a resting place. It's a direction that calls you forward. Many people misunderstand the idea of divine decree. They think that if something is meant to be, it will happen regardless of what they do. But in truth, Allah's plan includes your choices, your intentions, and your perseverance. The effort you make is part of the divine script. When you work, strive, and take steps in faith, you're not forcing destiny. You're walking within it. You become an active participant in what Allah has already designed for you. The beauty of this understanding is that it removes both arrogance and despair. You don't claim success as your own because you know it was written by Allah, and you don't drown in failure because you know even your setbacks are chapters within your greater purpose. Every door that closes, every delay, every redirection, it's all part of the same story. You're simply being guided toward the version of your destiny that aligns with your growth and your faith. Walking toward your destiny also means trusting the unseen. You won't always understand the path while you're on it. There will be moments when you question if you're moving in the right direction, when everything feels uncertain or slow. But faith is not about knowing, it's about trusting. Trust that every step, no matter how small or silent, is taking you closer to where you're meant to be. So move with intention. Pray, plan, and pursue. Don't wait for a perfect moment, because perfection is found in the act of striving itself. Destiny is not something you stumble upon one day. It's something you step into daily through your choices, your resilience, and your faith in the one who wrote your story. Many people lose sight of their purpose because they become too comfortable where they are. They settle for what feels safe, familiar, and easy, even when their heart quietly knows they were meant for more. Comfort can be one of the most dangerous traps. It whispers to you that peace means staying still, but true peace is found in movement toward growth. You cannot live your calling and cling to comfort at the same time. Every great transformation begins the moment you decide to step out of what feels easy and into what feels uncertain. Life was never meant to be a place of endless ease. If it were, the prophets would have lived in palaces and never known pain. Yet, every messenger, every believer who fulfilled their purpose walked through storms before they found clarity. Their struggle wasn't a sign of failure. It was the proof that they were alive and striving. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. The heart only expands when it's stretched by challenge, loss, and effort. When you avoid difficulty, you also avoid discovery. You may think you're protecting yourself from pain, but in truth, you're shielding yourself from becoming who you were meant to be. The trials you run from are often the doors to your greatest strength. Every hardship that tests you is actually teaching you how to rise, how to depend more on Allah, and how to detach from the illusions that keep you asleep. Comfort numbs the soul. It keeps you scrolling instead of reflecting, wishing instead of working, and waiting instead of walking. It makes you forget that you were not created for stagnation. You were created for progress. Your calling demands motion, even when you don't feel ready. If you keep choosing comfort over calling, you'll wake up one day realizing that the life you dreamed of was always waiting just beyond the walls of your fear. So, embrace discomfort as a sign that you are on the right path. Every challenge that stretches you is shaping you into someone capable of carrying the purpose written for you. Don't run from what feels hard, lean into it. Because within that discomfort, Allah is preparing you, refining you, and guiding you toward the destiny you've been praying for all along. Pain has a way of reaching the places words cannot. It shakes the heart, breaks the illusions, and forces you to see life as it truly is. When everything feels like it's falling apart, it is often falling into place. The pain you experience is not a sign that Allah has abandoned you. It's a message, a wake-up call, a reminder that you were created for something deeper than comfort and control. Pain has a purpose. It pulls you back to the one who never left. Sometimes the only way Allah can wake a sleeping heart is through difficulty. When blessings no longer remind you, when comfort makes you forget, He allows struggle to shake you awake. It's in the silence after heartbreak, in the emptiness after loss, that you finally start listening, not with your ears, but with your soul. You begin to realize that the pain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to realign you. Through it, your heart learns humility, patience, and surrender. The moments of deepest pain often become the moments of greatest clarity. When you are stripped of everything that distracted you, you finally begin to see what truly matters. You understand that happiness tied to people and outcomes will always break you, because everything temporary must fade. True peace only comes when your heart anchors itself to the eternal. What felt like breaking was actually the removal of everything that stood between you and your Lord. If you look back, you'll notice that every painful chapter held a hidden mercy. Maybe a rejection saved you from arrogance. Maybe a heartbreak returned you to prayer. Maybe a loss purified your intentions. Pain refines the soul the way fire purifies gold. It burns, but it beautifies. Every tear you shed in those moments is witnessed. Every ache is recorded. And every step you take while hurting is honored by the one who sees the unseen. So, the next time you find yourself in pain, don't rush to escape it. Sit with it, breathe through it, and ask what it came to teach you. Pain doesn't mean Allah is far. It means He's calling you closer. What feels like breaking is often your heart expanding to hold more faith, more gratitude, and more light than it ever could before. There will be times in life when you ask for something with your whole heart, when you cry in sujood, and when you feel that what you are asking for is good and pure, yet it does not come. In those moments, your heart starts to question. You wonder why others seem to receive their blessings easily while yours feels endlessly delayed. But what we often fail to see is that delay is not denial. It is divine timing. Allah does not forget a single prayer that leaves your lips. Every request is heard, recorded, and responded to, just not always in the way or time you expect. A delay can be a form of protection. Sometimes, what you want so badly in this moment would harm you if you were to receive it too soon. Your heart may not be ready, your circumstances may not be aligned, or your faith may still need refining. Allah knows the exact moment when the blessing will benefit you most, not break you. What feels like waiting is often preparation. Just as a seed cannot bloom before its season, your dua will not manifest before its appointed time. It is easy to mistake silence for neglect, but Allah's silence is never empty. It carries wisdom, mercy, and unseen planning. While you wait, things are shifting, Hearts are changing, paths are opening, strength is growing. You are being shaped into the person capable of carrying what you once only dreamed of. Every second of delay is an act of divine care, not rejection. The waiting itself is a gift because it purifies your intention and deepens your reliance on Him. If everything you asked for came immediately, faith would be easy. But faith is built in the moments of uncertainty. When you can't see the outcome, yet you choose to trust anyway. That quiet trust, that unseen patience, is what elevates you in the sight of Allah. The heart that still whispers, Alhamdulillah, while waiting is the heart that understands what true faith means. It's not about having everything, it's about trusting the one who can give everything. So when you find yourself waiting, don't despair. Your dua hasn't disappeared into the sky. It's hanging there, suspended in mercy, waiting for its perfect moment. Keep praying, keep striving, keep believing. Because when Allah finally unfolds the plan He's been preparing, you'll realize why it took so long. Every delay will make sense. Every unanswered prayer will reveal its wisdom, and you will see that you were never forgotten. Not even for a heartbeat. There are moments when we raise our hands in prayer, asking Allah for change, for success, for healing, and for growth. But when the prayer ends, we sit still. We wait for miracles to appear without realizing that movement itself is a form of worship. Dua is powerful, but dua without action is incomplete. It's like asking for rain, yet never planting seeds. Allah wants you to call upon Him, but He also wants you to walk toward what you ask for. Faith was never meant to be passive. It was meant to inspire effort, courage, and consistency. When you take a step in the direction of your dream, you're not showing doubt in Allah's power. You're showing trust in His promise. He could give you everything in an instant, but He allows the journey to grow you first. Every struggle, every small step, and every moment of effort builds strength inside you that instant success never could. Your work becomes your worship when it's done with the right intention. Even when it feels slow or unseen, remember that nothing done for His sake is ever wasted. So many people give up because they don't see results right away. They mistake delay for denial and lose faith in the process. But the truth is, progress often hides in the unseen. The roots of a tree grow long before the branches appear. When you keep showing up, even in silence, you are proving that your faith is real. You are saying to Allah, I trust your plan, and I'll keep moving until you open the way. That is the essence of tawakkul. To tie your camel and then trust in the outcome. When you act with faith, even small actions carry immense weight. The Prophet taught that Allah loves consistency, even if the deed is small. A few minutes of daily effort, a small act of courage, a step taken despite fear. All of these are acts of trust. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to begin. Once you move, Allah moves with you in ways you can't imagine. So keep praying, but also keep building. Keep asking, but also keep walking. Your dua lights the path, but your action walks it. You were never meant to just dream. You were meant to do. When you combine prayer with perseverance, faith with effort, the impossible starts to unfold. That's when you realize that Allah never ignores the one who strives sincerely. He simply waits for the moment when your heart, your faith, and your effort align with the destiny He wrote for you. One of the quietest ways we lose our peace is through comparison. It begins subtly, looking at someone else's life, their achievements, their beauty, their success, and suddenly, what you have feels smaller. Your blessings feel less. You start to measure your worth through the lens of another person's journey. But comparison blinds the heart. It makes you forget that Allah's plan for you is unique, personal, and perfectly designed for your growth. What someone else has was never meant to be yours, and what is written for you will never miss you. Each soul walks its own path toward Allah. Some bloom early, others take longer to rise, but every flower opens in its own season. When you focus on others, you drift away from your own path. You spend energy chasing timelines that were never written for you. What if the delay you feel isn't a punishment, but protection? What if Allah is saving you from a version of success that would have distracted you from Him? Trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it needs to, even if it looks nothing like anyone else's. Comparison not only steals your gratitude, it steals your connection to purpose. You can't hear your own calling while you're busy listening to everyone else's. The more you look outward, the less you nurture what's inside you. And yet the world needs the light that only you carry. No one can reflect Allah's mercy, creativity, or wisdom in the exact way you can. The moment you stop competing and start contributing, peace begins to settle in your heart. When you see others succeed, don't let envy darken your heart. Let it inspire you. Their success doesn't diminish yours. It's simply a sign that Allah's generosity is limitless. He gives to whom He wills, when He wills, and in ways that fit each person's soul. Be happy for them and be patient for yourself. What is written for you is not lost. It is only waiting for its appointed time. The same Lord who opened their door is capable of opening yours. So, look inward more than outward. Measure your worth not by worldly standards, but by sincerity, effort, and connection to Allah. Every step you take, no matter how small, has value in His eyes. Your lane is sacred because it was chosen for you. Stay in it with humility and faith. When you stop comparing and start trusting, you will finally feel the peace that comes from knowing that your story, exactly as it is already enough. The heart is the most delicate part of who you are. It is not just an organ that beats. It is the place where faith lives, where love grows, and where peace is born. When the heart is alive, you feel light even in heavy moments. You sense Allah's presence in everything, and even pain feels purposeful. But when the heart begins to die, life loses its meaning. Nothing satisfies, nothing feels deep, and nothing brings true peace. That is why protecting your heart is one of the most important acts of worship you can perform. Every sin, every distraction, every careless word slowly covers the heart like dust on glass. The more it builds, the less light can pass through. The world trains us to numb ourselves. Scroll more, feel less, rush through the moments that are meant to be reflected upon. But a numb heart cannot recognize guidance. It cannot taste the sweetness of prayer or the comfort of remembrance. Protecting your heart means being aware of what you let inside, what you see, hear, think about, and consume. Because everything that enters the heart shapes its state. When your heart feels heavy or distant, it's not because Allah has moved away. It's because something in your life has come between you and Him. Maybe it's a sin you brushed off, or a habit that dulls your spirit, or a constant noise that leaves no room for silence. The first step to reviving your heart is honesty. Admit where you've drifted and turn back. Repentance is not about guilt. It's about cleansing. It's the rain that washes the dust away so that your heart can breathe again. A soft heart is not a weak heart. It is a heart that feels deeply, that forgives easily, and that turns quickly to Allah. Hardness may protect you from hurt, but it also blocks love, mercy, and connection. Allow yourself to feel. Feel your pain, your joy, your gratitude, your longing. Those emotions are signs that your heart is alive. When you cry in prayer or feel moved by a verse, that is your heart remembering its true home. So, protect your heart as you would protect a treasure. Keep it away from what pollutes it and fill it with what purifies it. Remembrance, prayer, current silence, and sincerity. When your heart is alive, you will see the world differently. You will find beauty in patience, strength in surrender, and hope even in hardship. The heart that stays awake in remembrance of Allah is the one that never truly breaks, no matter what the world takes away. There comes a point in every life when you realize that existing is not the same as living. You can go through the motions, wake up, work, scroll, sleep, and still feel empty inside. That emptiness is not a lack of success or recognition. It is the soul's hunger for purpose. You were not created to simply drift through life, waiting for things to happen. You were created with a divine assignment, a reason that gives meaning to your every breath. The moment you stop chasing distractions and start seeking that purpose, life begins to feel alive again. The world will try to convince you that you are too small, too late, too broken to rise. But every prophet, every believer who ever made a difference began in weakness. They rose not because they had power, but because they had faith. Allah does not choose the strongest. He strengthens the chosen. You may not feel ready, but readiness is not what He asks for. What He asks for is willingness. A heart that says, "Here I am, use me," even when it's trembling, is already powerful beyond measure. Each sunrise you witness is a reminder that you still have a purpose to fulfill. The fact that you are alive means there is something in this world that still needs your light. Do not underestimate the impact of a kind word, a prayer, or a small act done with sincerity. The greatest legacies are not always built through fame or recognition. They are built quietly in moments of service, patience, and steadfastness. Every act done for the sake of Allah becomes part of your story, echoing far beyond what you can see. The path to rising is not without pain. You will stumble, fall, and question your strength. But every time you rise again, you grow closer to who you are meant to be. The struggle itself refines you. It teaches humility, gratitude, and trust. The wounds that once made you feel unworthy can become the very places where light enters. Allah never wastes a moment of your struggle. He uses every one of them to prepare you for what's ahead. So rise from fear, from doubt, from the stories that tell you it's too late. Rise from the pain that tried to bury you. Rise with the faith that if Allah kept you here, He still has work for you to do. You are not a mistake, and you are not forgotten. Every heartbeat is a reminder that your purpose is still calling. Wake up to it. Step into it. Because the world needs the light that only you were created to bring.